Knock knock. Who's there? Time. Time? What time is it? It's that time you'll experience something so awful that your nose will bleed, your mind will hurt, you will cry, shiver in fear, but alas, there is no escape. For it is summertime when bad blockbuster films infiltrate movie theaters and terrorize our weak, pathetic human existence. So, first up is First Class, though I felt as if I were in third class watching this shit. The title should be X-Men Godwin's Law. It only proves that if enough X-Men stories are continually written, that Godwin's Law will take effect and dominate everything. Godwin's Law states that once a debate or discussion reaches a comparison and or accusation stereotyping someone or something as Nazis or Hitler, it's useless to continue. Emotional appeals regarding Nazis are made throughout this film and ponderates the storyline. It revolves around three characters to the background of World War II, with Nazis trumped as the evil of all evils. Throughout, no one can argue against it, so any point can be thoroughly driven into the viewer, no matter how ridiculous. It's moral to kill him! He was a Nazi and a mommy killer! Ah! The three mutant stooges are Magneto, Professor X, and Sebastian Shaw. Magneto survived the concentration camps, but the bad old evil Nazis killed his po mommy, and he yearns for revenge. In a scene ripping off The Empire Strikes Back between Yoda and Luke, Professor X teaches Magneto how to be even more powerful, but with the power of positive thinking. Thanks, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. This is only a first-class, boring riff-off that steals and does not pay homage to many classic films, such as the James Bond movies. As G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra is more of a serious take on Team America World Police, First Class is a serious take on Dr. Strangelove, mixed together as a remake of the first X-Men movie. How contemptible to steal from a dark comedy and take it seriously! You miss the entire point! Hence, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. It turns out the Nazis didn't kill his mommy. His fellow mutant attempting to start World War III did. The evil Sebastian Shaw did. Magneto is the true bigot here, who shows in the end he agrees with everything Shaw is doing, as well as what any stereotypical Nazi would do, as it likes to point out over and over. Except he wants to be the top dog. Magneto's dream is to be the all-powerful Nazi Obermensch, the true Superman with a god complex. Basically, this film argues that the plot to X-Men The Last Stand is correct, that humanity does need to kill these mutants, as they are a threat to all life. In the end, Magneto doesn't mind anyone's mom being killed, even his own, so he kills Shaw and takes his place so he can be the psychopath Shaw envisioned. Professor X helps him do it, but lets him live so there can be sequels? We'll meet again. The all-seeing, all-knowing Professor X then blames it on Magneto if he were the bad guy, but also seems to, without any reason, forgive him. It's not that either is good or bad. It's just that this film is so deplorable. All the non-mutant humans are all boring, useless characters, and Shaw and Xavier are never really explored fully. By the end of this, I wanted the US and the USSR to launch a nuclear strike on all the mutants, and even the filmmakers. For these filmmakers knew enough brain-dead smucks would take to this like flies onto shit and not question any of it. The abuse of history and science in this film is appalling, too. My skin crawls at the positive reaction this film is receiving. Is everyone who enjoyed this drill that cognitively impaired? Or films this year so wretched that even X-Men First Class is considered a good movie? X-Men fans are comparable to those of the Star Wars films who refuse to accept how horrid their prequels were. Such is the case with the fools who will cheer this shit on no matter what is presented on screen. It wouldn't matter what they put up. It's like these were the mindless followers of Benny Hinn or Pat Robertson. Every character in this film is so poorly written, but would anyone expect anything better from the writer of X3? I'm rating this movie FR for fucking ridiculous. Super 8. Folks, Super 8 ain't so great. Rated Cups. A special rating of Cups for contrived, unoriginal, predictable shit. Kung Fu Panda 2. I'll start off with the yang and work toward the yin. Here we follow Po, a dull, not at all phasey, moronic, uninquisitive everyman we are expected to laugh at, as if the viewers were part of a sitcom audience being told to applaud, yet mindlessly complies. The plot is all about how all the good pandas were killed by some angry widow peacock after a threatening prophecy by an Edgar Casey Nostradamus-inspired know-it-all bitch is given to him. So Po and his dull, supporting cast. Thus use might makes right to defeat those who go by the same motto, completely ignoring legalities and diplomacy. But in the end, we find out the pandas didn't die. They just moved on, as we should. So the entire storyline is pointless. Po, the brain-dead Kung Fu Panda, gains special abilities without working at any of them. That's right, folks, someone who knows Kung Fu without any training. Where is Pai Mei when we need him? So just by simply thinking, inner peace, he can do anything. It reduces Eastern culture to martial arts stereotypes and ridicules Eastern philosophy and religions. Is this how the West views the East? I am surprised Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom didn't make a cameo asking about Dr. Jones, where Art Spiegelman's Pulitzer Prize-winning Mouse makes use of animal stereotypes to illuminate the repercussions of our intolerance and judgment to our fellow humanity. This film does the opposite. Not since the Star Wars prequels have I seen anything so blatantly bigoted, yet accepted on such a grand public scale and pushed at children. The storyline is only bearable to the constant effects and flashing of images it throws at the audience to distract it, as otherwise it would fall apart and this dumb panda and his Emperor Peacock would be naked to everyone. Though the flashback animation sequences are visually interesting. I'm rating this BR for being bigoted and retarded. Avoid unless you're a bigot at heart. Maybe they can name the next one Kung Fu Panda 3, Poe's Law. The Fast and the Furious 5. I didn't mind the first film, but there's nothing to see in this or any of the other sequels. It's the same old thing rerun. No one cares. It's like watching Jaws 10. And if you do, you're dense. Rated B for boring. Bridesmaids. Whatever. Thor. You know, it's just popcorn. That's all I can say. Rated P for popcorn. The Hangover 2. Like The Fast and the Furious, if you saw this film, you can press replay. This is just another remake that pretends to be a sequel. I give this a double R for retarded remake. Finally, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, as I save this monstrosity for last. I'm curious if this film was ghost-written by Star Wars and Indiana Jones producer George Lucas. The quality of the dialogue is so awful as to reflect the Star Wars films. Was Yoda the inspiration of how pirates talk with a few aye-ayes and shiver-me timbers in broken English? You know, British and Spanish soldiers have much in common with bumbling stormtroopers. It was as if one were watching the fight sequences in The Matrix, but as dance scenes in a horrid music video, with bad actors, or should I say bad dancers, wearing more makeup than Tammy Faye Baker. If only the late great Slim Pickens had rode out on his horse, as he did in the classic Mel Brooks film Blazing Saddles, yelling, "What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? I hired you people to get a little track laid, not to dance around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots!" Then there is the issue of sexuality in this film. Any intelligent being watching this abomination must wonder whether the supposed makeup-ridden pirate Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp, is even capable of being anything other than a Never Grow Up and Kiss the Girls Peter Pan ripoff. The entire film may as well have been spliced together from the original three. Driving from the theater, my friend and fellow reviewer TJ, dumbfounded and disgusted, asked me, what about the plot, if it even had one? What was it? What was going on? It seems to supposedly have to do with the British Navy and the interest of the Church of England versus the interest of the Spanish Navy and the Catholic Church. Both are competing for the secrets of the Fountain of Youth. Apparently, this may have come from some pagan secret society, but neither plotline is followed up. Nor does the film consider that the Christian religion already grants eternal life to true believers who accept Jesus Christ. Hello! The story revolved around the Fountain of Youth as one of redemption played against the warring views of Christianity that are never explored. Neither is the mystery behind the Fountain of Youth. Each character in this film is a cultural or sexual stereotype that doesn't change course. They are unable to grow. No one in this film develops. The audience is supposed to cheer on this Jack Sparrow if he matters. Without reason, he is a meaningless, stupid, uninteresting, and poorly acted oaf played by a bored, declining Johnny Depp. Then again, what actor gives a worthy performance? Penelope Cruz plays up a feisty Latina stereotype, but is of no interest to anyone. She has no sex appeal or worth as an actress in whatever she attempted to portray here. As does Ian McShane, who is the worst villain playing Blackbeard in recent film history. The so-called characters are just cardboard cutouts, not worthy of being cared for. Throughout the film, I wish Michael Bay's Transformers would pop out with loud noises to drown out that awful original Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, constantly played, killing everyone and smashing everything. Instead, I should have sat there when I could muster the strength to pay attention and guess every single sequence in the movie, painfully counting down to each and every moment. Then there is this sexy hunk being the true believing Christian. Unlike the atheistic immoral pirates, he who only wishes forgiveness and obedience to his beloved all-moral giving faith, yet has this virtuous, lustless love for the sexy mermaid. His purpose and hers, though, as a mermaid, are to provide eye candy for the brain-dead audience, as a shirtless, hunky man holding the poor, helpless female mermaid covering her shameful, naked, sexy, dripping, wet body. Even worse is this movie can't even make up its mind if these are mermaids, female versions of Spider-Man, or vampire shark women who shoot webs out of their fucking wrists, fly, hiss, and growl, as well as devour large ships. Huh? Then again, this movie may be the most accurate portrayal of women in human history. In the end, the mermaid lusts for the Christian and they go into the deep waters to live happily ever after. Or he dies and she eats him. Anyway, no one cares. And I'm rating this movie RV, for regurgitated vomit. Philosopher Joseph Campbell said, and I quote, "In the human heart and in the human mind, no matter what the race, the culture, the language, the tradition, there is at least the sense of a mystery, and an awesome and a very terrifying mystery inhabiting the whole universe, the very mystery of being itself." Well, the production of films like Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and X-Men's First Class has no such mystery. There isn't anything to look into. These films have thrown out plot, character, and anything worth a damn. It's just a collected film clips of explosion, logical fallacies, and stereotypes. The producers of these films, and even the actors, go to great lengths to not say or do anything of actual consequence. There is nobody to care about, nobody to give a damn for. They're heartless and hollow from beginning to end. In the past, I have defended films like the original Star Wars trilogy and even Avatar, as those films do have mythic qualities beyond special effects. They have brought a sense of wonder to the audience that jolted their imagination. At least they did for some. The only jolt I got from this feeling was a feeling of nausea. Not only from the film, but the crowd that enjoyed it in the theater. While there are plenty of poorly made films and poorly written stories, these movies now altogether throw out storytelling. It is as if the nightmare scenario in Idiocracy, which I will link below in the description bar, has come true, in which people will simply go see Ass the Movie, a short film of a naked ass farting, as if it were relevant filmmaking. That might as well be the content of these films. Equally as bad are the fans of these movies. They don't care, don't give a damn, and cheer on this crime against humanity. They have given a market to this shit, and no matter what gimmicks are used, such as 3D and IMAX, it will not make up for the lack of an intriguing, intelligent story that touches upon the mystery of human existence. It all adds up to another year, another summer wasting time, as if it seems there was fuck all else to do. My suggestion is do anything. Eat at Burger King and puke it up and then go right back to eating it. But isn't that the same as just going to the movies over and over? Unlike TJ, I took off my 3D glasses to see these films for what they really are. A waste of being alive. What is worse, a film like Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, with its anti-sexual, politically correct, no plot, no problem filmmaking, or X-Men First Class being completely unoriginal, ripping off scenes from other films while forcing a contrived plot with logical fallacies that in no way makes any sense. It seduces you into watching this trash while you foolishly hope for such to make sense. But only if you concede your intelligence. Stephen King can't write an ending to save his life, but he can tell an original story. These films can't do either. None of these films reviewed here were able to. For those without any intelligent discernment, I can understand why you might like these movies. But folks, you do have brains. The film Idiocracy does not have to come true. And no to all you South Park fans, I am not just getting old. I am not a cynical asshole. I'm an optimist. Just ask Cassie Deal. There is a saying, you are what you eat, but so be mindful what you take in. Author Karen Armstrong observed that any powerful work of art invades our being and changes it forever. It seems a valueless work of trashy commercial shit can invade our being and change us as well. So be mindful. You are better than this. Excuse me for having better expectations of humanity, for caring about cognitive development, than producing and desiring this waste of human potential. So when at the movie theater this summer, do not forget the theater within your mind, the importance and potential of human imagination. It still exists. Just not on the silver screen with these gimmick-ridden blockbuster films and cinemas that require IMAXs and 3D effects to lure you in like cattle to be slaughtered. So I'll be seeing you on the good ship Lollipop.